Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Top Flight Pod. You know what it is. You know what we're here to do. Back in studio today, beautiful Austin, Texas. I'm with the boys. I got my GB here next to me and in studio today. Ladies and gentlemen, on screen, if you're watching, you can see we got the one and only, the great Mr. Favian Renkel, bro. Welcome to the Top Flight Podcast Studios, bro.
Hey,
it's an honor to have you here, my G.
It's a true pleasure. I mean, I see you guys working all the time. So, no, I see grinders and I think about y'all. So it's a great link up, and it was bound to happen. That's for sure.
Dude, I mean, all the time I walk into the stew, Brian's like passed out on the ground sleeping because this guy works so hard, mate.
Yeah, no, I bet.
Hey, man, the pod's got to drop, brother.
How you doing, mate?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited for you. I mean, I'm excited to hear what your thoughts on the city and the game and everything. So, yeah, I'm happy.
Of course, my G Fabian was here for the LAFC game. So we're going to talk about that here a little bit. But mainly the pod, we want to talk about just what you thought about the city, just like B said, your experience at Q2 Stadium, and just kind of like your life, your background, doing what you do. Because everybody out there knows the grind that you're on, knows your face by now. If anybody that watches MLS and even beyond that knows the name Favian Renkel, mate. That's no cap. That's no cap.
I'm out here bloody,
household name when we talk about MLS.
Nah, not even.
Shout out my G. But of course, the Austin FC versus LAFC match, mate, that concluded. It was a 1-1 draw. Of course, Austin FC was winning in that game for a long period of time. Khalid Obrian with a bit of a worldie. That was a deflection there.
Yeah.
But in the end, LAFC does what they do best. They're a team that's on a crazy streak. They haven't lost in so long. All competitions, I think the official number is 8.
Yeah.
They haven't lost. So this is a team that's really, getting in stride, showing the team that we all know who they are. We all know them to be. Yeah. But just on the game, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, look, when I walked into the stadium, tall. That's the first thing I thought.
Tall. Okay.
This is tall. I've never seen an MLS stadium this tall before, and it was a little daunting, not going to lie to you. If you're an away team and that place is rocking, Q2 is going crazy, I can see how that's scary. I mean,
nice.
Number two thing I kind of realized was, man, I wish the sun would set a lot faster so those green lights would hit a lot harder, because that's the thing that I know that makes Q2 a next level stadium is those green lights whenever they score. So I was like, I need to see a goal because I need to see those green lights. And I did. Obrian had that goal. And I know I had a great experience. I mean, I did it as a fan, which I never really do. That's my first game as 3 years, So it was something that I was like, I'm going to do Austin right. I'm going to go as a fan because I feel like you got to experience Q2 as a fan because that place was rocking even on a Wednesday night. So, no, I had a blast. The game itself was a great one. I mean, we saw 2 goals. Yeah, there's games lately that have been 0-0.
Nils, so, those hurt.
Yeah, so we saw goals. We saw people, cheering and tambores going, so we were having a good time. And, I mean, Driussi had a great kind of pressure on, I think it was, I want to say Atuesta, where he got the ball and then opened up a kind of a shot for Obrian. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I saw that right there. That's pretty cool. Something that you might not see from the press box. Driussi's eyes going to Atuesta and getting that. So, I thought it was an overall good game. The weather didn't help. I mean, the weather got really bad.
You didn't like it? You didn't like it? I thought it added a bit of a good touch to it. I don't know. It's something about playing footy in the rain that's cool. It adds something to it, but there was a moment in the match where it was coming down pretty hard.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, in the second half where you almost thought, something's going to slip. Something's going to happen where someone's going to make a mistake. I mean, it was pouring. I mean, we were trying to avoid it in the stands, right?
Well, B, tell us about your experience in that game because it was pouring for you, mate.
Well, I was shooting the game, and the fans are covered. When you're in there for photography, it's coming down. And I got soaked, and it was just that kind of vibe. But
whenever you said that your boxers felt wet, I was like, "Damn, bro, that sucks."
I was hoping.
The worst feeling.
Yeah, I was soaked, man, and we had to cancel fan reactions. We couldn't. We attempted it. We had an umbrella.
Oh wow!
And it was not happening, man. It was coming down.
It
was pouring down, which sucks because we wanted to get you on there. There was a couple people that came from LA that we wanted to get on there.
Yeah, people came from a whole other city trying to get on fan reactions. And then I feel terrible.
To the point of the stadium is like, I would personally say I think you saw Q2 at like maybe, honestly, like 60%.
No,
maybe less.
80%.
80%. 70.
It was full.
But
besides the places that had water coming down.
It was like a midweek game. It was the weather was bad, but I feel like a Saturday game, on the marquee game, weather nice. I mean, Q2 at 100% is a crazy environment.
It's a vibe. Wait.
It's a vibe. So yeah, I mean, it was good. I mean, it sucked because of just the way the game went. Us fighting, holding it down, defensive, low block, just trying to hang in there. And at the end, we couldn't do it, but we get a point, man.
Right now that we're still on, on the topic of the actual game, talking about footy, there's been a lot of conversation on the TL the past couple the past day or the past couple of hours, I could say, just on the topic of Austin FC getting a point from LAFC, a team that nobody thought that they were going to get anything out of except a big fat L. Austin FC was winning most of the game. 90th minute, LAFC scores. Josh Wolf post-match says that, hey, this is one of the best teams or the best team in MLS.
He said the best team.
And he said that was their first shot on target. So the boys did good on defense, but at the end of the day, you're minutes away from securing 3 points against LAFC. Of course, people are going to feel some type of way. But the conversation on the timeline has been like, 2 points dropped, but there's also people saying, hey, going into this match, nobody had Austin FC even getting a point, so y'all need to zip it. Yeah. So I want to get your thoughts on that, mate. Yeah. I mean, seeing it from your mind, do you see that this is a big point for Austin FC? This could be valuable towards the end of the season, right, when you're trying to crunch up points? Or do you think that it was essentially 2 points dropped?
No, look, greatness happened that night. Kai Kamara tied Landon Donovan.
Freaking Kai Kamara, bro.
Yeah, he hasn't had a goal in a year. It's great player, but it was definitely a boogeyman in his arsenal where he had to get it off his back, and he got it against the Verde, and it's just unfortunate for you guys because, again, like Josh Wolf said, you guys have played a great game. The game was muddy. It was wet. It's just something that you weren't expecting to happen. And a guy like Kai Kamara just come out of nowhere in the box unmarked and then get a free header. Unfortunate. But if I'm Austin FC, I'm looking at this as a potential playoff game. And I'm thinking, we could take them toe-to-toe at Q2, no problem.
Yeah, I'm on the camp of this is a great point. Defending the whole game and at the end letting it slip, it's just tough to deal with. But off the Colorado defeat, the vibe coming into the game was
the Colorado
down.
defeat, mate. Just go back one more match. The RSL 5-1.
The RSL.
Stuver literally lost the All-Star contention in that match, mate.
So we were coming into this game thinking maybe this could be bad. This could be ugly. And
I was predicting a 2-0, a 3-1.
Maybe even 3.
Massacre. Low key.
But the boys put in a shift, man. Gallagher, the backline, Heinz Ike.
They
put in a shift, man. You could tell by the end of the game they were exhausted. The work rate was amazing, and I praise them on that part.
This match low-key reminded me of the St. Louis game early on in the season when Ethan Finley, the deflection off of him, sends the ball into the back of the net. And late in the game, Austin FC now ties 2-2, right? And you were saying, B, if it wasn't for an unlucky deflection, it would have been completely different. Now, of course, deflections are part of the game, mate, right? Late equalizers are also part of the game.
But they had got one.
Exactly. But Austin FC fans are just leaving the stadium were left with a bit of a bitter taste in their mouth, and they left soaked. Yeah. But the stat on Kai Kamara that Fabian mentioned, it says that with this goal, Kamara equaled Landon Donovan's record of 145 goals in MLS regular season, a remarkable achievement in the career of the 39-year-old striker.
Which is wild. We thought he was retiring last year. LAFC offers him a role. If you're a guy like that looking for that goal, you join a team like LAFC, and I bet you I know for a fact they were also cheering in that visitor locker room, cheering for Kai Kamara. So it's just unfortunate. History happened that night, and if I'm an Austin fan, you kind of saw history for MLS too. And you kind of have to appreciate it a little bit. And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, I asked him about this goal at the All-Star game when he was there last year in DC. Personally, I asked him about this goal and that he scored it when I was right there, with the supporters was kind of wild for me, at least.
Stuver post-match, he said, I forget which media outlet he told, but I believe that the quote was that Stuver is very annoyed with the goal because it is historic that it's going to be photos of this goal. And Stuver will be the keeper of this important tying goal for Kai Kamara. So he was saying, like, I'm happy for him, but it sucks that I'm going to be the guy that's on the other side of this historic photo, right? So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, and on top of that, we were holding it down trying to lock in those 3 points, man.
It's just unlucky, mate. But that's what LAFC is, brother. They're like the Real Madrid almost of I don't want to say that the Real
again
Madrid
with the
MLS.
Madrid. There's always something with Madrid.
What I'm trying to say is that you got to put them away, bro.
Yeah.
Josh Wolf was also criticized because in the 82nd minute, Matt Hedges came on for Ethan Finley, and they switched on to the back five, mate. So fans were saying, hey, why are we taking Khalid O'Brien off early? Why aren't we trying to go for the kill for the 2-0 and finish off this LAFC side? This is a team that was 8 games unbeaten. Now they're 9 with Austin FC one, but you had the chance maybe to put them away. You didn't do it. You go to a back five with Matt Hedges. It doesn't work, and now the fans are at your neck talking about Wolf out because LAFC, a team that's good in the league, equalized, mate. So you see where the drama is at.
Well, the one thing I want to say about Kai, too, is no one's touching Chris Wondolowski's record. So this is the baby record, to be honest. No player, in my opinion, for maybe 30 years is going to touch Chris Wondolowski's record because you have to be dominant for 15 years in MLS. And since MLS is a selling league now, you're not going to have 15 years. And Josef was close, but then he had 2 crazy season injuries, right? So it's just it almost is like, in my opinion, should have been more fanfare because no one's touching Wondolowski's record because no one's going to play in MLS that long if you're that good.
I'm going to actually come back to that when we get to some other conversation. That's actually a really interesting conversation. We're going to go off on that. But I want to talk about 2 guys from Austin FC, brother, and I want to get your takes on them. And they really stood out to me. Sebastian Drusi played his ass off. I think he was inspired by something. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the poor performances that he's been putting out recently. But DP player Drusi showed up against LAFC. Didn't get a goal, but he did create chances for Khalid, which got the almighty goal for Austin FC. But Sebastian Drusi against LAFC, he was all over the pitch. Yeah. He was just on the ground, sliding, fighting for every single ball, winning second balls, just trying to get that goal, right? Didn't happen for him, but he was very important in Khalid's. And then the other guy I want to talk about is Khalid O'Brien, a guy that came from FC Dallas, part of the re-entry draft. Austin FC had to make some moves in order to go get this guy. And folks were saying, this is who you're going to get. This is who the guy that you're bringing in. We have all this money based off of charts that we see that are dropped by various media networks. We see that Austin FC has money. We see that they have, we see that they make good money down here. Yeah. And folks think Khalid O'Brien is a low-profile signing. They want to see a Chucky Lozano. Folks want to see somebody like Boanga. They want to see their version of Leo Messi. Instead, you get Khalid O'Brien in a re-entry draft. But currently, right now, he's at 5 goals this season. I believe he's tied with Drusi or just underneath Seba. But I think they're at 5. I'll double check right now. But just real quick, your thoughts on Khalid O'Brien for Austin FC?
Yeah, look, correct me if I'm wrong, but this was one of Roto's first things.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, okay. So, in my opinion.
Sorry, bro. I had to cut you off. Just kind of keep it like.
Sorry. My bad. So, my apologies. This is Roto's first big kind of thing that he did for Austin. And when I saw it happen, let me do this too. Why aren't those streamed? Why aren't the re-entry drafts streamed? Like, can we get one stream of it? Yeah. I was looking for roster updates on the timeline or trying to hit up anybody I could because you can't do a YouTube stream or an Apple TV stream. Come on. But still, popped up in my kind of timeline, and I thought, not a bad pick, especially on the salary he was making. In my opinion, this is a low-risk Kevin Cabral. This is someone that can stretch kind of this offense a little more.
Very low risk.
Can add a different dimension. Maybe wasn't being utilized at SC Dallas to, what he can be. As you can see, 5 goals already in something where you can get basically a free player, right? In a re-entry draft. And what I like the most is that Roto's actually using every single kind of outlet he has, which is something that a lot of GMs don't do. In my opinion, I would have, if I'm not mistaken, Douglas Costa was thrown on that re-entry draft. Chicharito was on there. Yes, they're not going to resign, but why not grab a name, right? Why not show your fan base that, shoot, we just grabbed Douglas Costa. If he doesn't want to sign with us, he doesn't want to sign with us.
Now, Khalid O'Brien, currently he's almost at $500K. Now, his option was picked up by Austin FC, and because of the contracts and the whole re-entry draft system, if you pick up a player through the re-entry draft, you have to exercise their option. So he pretty much got a raise with Austin FC, which is great. It's cool. But you're right. You pretty much got a free player with Khalid O'Brien. He's at 5 goals, making less than $500K. We had Rigoni here making $2 million, not contributed anything at all. He's finally cut. But B, I want to get your point of view now on Khalid O'Brien and, of course, his performance versus LAFC. He gets that goal. But just kind of like what we're talking about with Favian, Khalid O'Brien coming from the re-entry draft and how important he's been for Austin FC this season, mate. I mean, getting the goal versus LAFC, that's massive.
Yeah. I mean, look, to me, I think this signing puts it puts more emphasis on Rodolfo Borrell. His the way that he like you said, he could have had. There's other names on there. He went with him. He's a pacey player. He seems hungry here in Austin, and I think that just puts a light on Rodolfo Borrell's moves. And he's been great for us. He seems hungry, like I said. I think he's got. I think he's got double-digit goals in my opinion. I feel like he can.
In him, yes.
Yeah, for sure. I see him hitting maybe 10 goals this season.
He has 5 right now, confirmed. 5 Seba, 5 Jader Obrian.
Yeah, I see him scoring 10, man.
I mean, if he has 10 goals on 500K, that's a steal. I mean,
yeah.
You're paying. What, 50K per goal? I mean, that's a steal.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that says a lot on Rodolfo Borrell, man. I think that he is we're not gonna, and this has been a vibe. It's like we're not really going for namesakes. We just want someone that has potential to come in and deliver on the pitch, and I like that. In my opinion, I'm not one of those fans that are like, oh, we need a Chucky. We need. Although I would love it, of course. I would love. I know.
Chucky Lozano, I'm good. Personally, I'm good. Personally, I'm good.
I would love a bang, a crazy superstar. I would love it, of course. But like, maybe the mindset of like, no, we're not gonna seek that first. First, we're gonna seek on maybe production on the field, and I'm down with that.
Post-match, Joshua, or actually post-match or pre-match, Joshua was talking about the gap in the difference of talent between LAFC's current side and Austin FC's current team right now. And we know that we have 2 guys coming in the Austin FC side. Let's talk about Bukari real quick. This is a guy that's going to be coming in for Austin FC real soon. We're talking about just a matter of weeks now. His first game could be against Charlotte. That's going to be at home. That's going to be very interesting. Record signing, $7.5 million, coming from the Serbian league. Of course, it's not the best league, but coming from Red Star, historic side. 10th fastest Champions League player in the group stage last season. Goal against Man City. Assist against Young Boys, and I think a goal also as well. I mean, we talk about that gap of talent between both of these teams. I mean, this is a guy, Bukari, that's going to come in and probably secure you these games next season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, see, I like this move, but I also think it's a really risky one. I like the O'Brien move because it's basically free money. Like, why not?
Yeah.
You know, why not bring in a guy who can do something? Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of an overpay for someone that's maybe a question mark, but you got 5 goals right now. You look like a genius for doing that. $7 million coming from covering the earthquakes is a lot of money. Like, we don't even touch $7 million on that whole roster.
Yeah, folks were actually criticizing that amount. They were like, $7 million, Rodo, really? Because it beats Drewsy's fee. Drewsy was brought into Austin FC for just over $7 million and some discovery rights for Inter Miami.
But Driussi was all the player in the name. I mean, you didn't have to explain to me who Driussi was.
MVP of his league, golden boot of his league.
Also,
I think some folks had to Google him, but some folks knew him because of River.
Right. And if you're a lot of people, if you're South American, you know River Plate. Yeah. You know the kind of the games against Barcelona. You know that whole lore about Driussi. Yeah. You know who this guy is. Yeah. And I mean, the markets have changed too. We got to kind of put that into account. You got Driussi, what, 4 years ago? Yeah. So $6 million 4 years ago is a little different than $7 million now.
It's true.
Yeah.
Something you got to keep into account. And also, there's a lot more TAM and GAM thrown around. So you do have a little bit more spending money. So that is also into account of that. But I think Roldo could possibly find a DP in the league that's not performing. So I've said this many times again, but there's a lot of teams that are going to bring in players that don't have things open. Yeah. And for example, Giroud, or like, what if Griezmann says tomorrow that he wants to join LAFC? How are they opening a spot? Why isn't Austin getting a couple of guys right now? And Roto's first year, so he could play this way. Why not wait for Bouanga to possibly on the market? Yeah. Right. Why not throw the book at someone that's already proven in MLS? O'Brien's a very good kind of low risk kind of that thing. But I'm thinking more. I know you said I've said this before, but like Campana. I'm looking for a guy.
I think that's the guy
that I'm throwing everybody at him. Yeah. I mean, I'm throwing Gallagher. I'm throwing $2 million Gam. Especially now that they're winning every game without Messi, he's that guy. And if Suarez can play another year, because maybe Neymar comes in another year and Di Maria's coming now, they're gonna need to offload guys off those books. Campana's a name that I think every single MLS team should be throwing $2 million Gam plus players in for, because that is a superstar that can change. Maybe not the Messis, maybe not the Suarez's, maybe not the A-tier guys and Giroud's, Bernadeschi's, Insigne's, but he's definitely there with the Buwangas, the Acostas, and you want those guys before the others, unless you are Miami or LA, where you have the pressure of the world, right?
Yeah. And I think I just saw a rumor today that Weston McKennie is supposed to be pursued by Cincinnati.
Well, Cincinnati always goes for the USMNT guys.
They got Miles Robinson.
And they had
they gave him the bag.
Yeah,
they gave him the bag.
And from Miami, the
DeAndre Yedlin.
Yedlin.
So they always go for USMNT guys. Don't be shocked when Christian Pulisic gets an offer, because it's gonna happen.
San Diego, Pulisic, San Diego, Pulisic, San Diego.
You know, I like those rumors. They're cool.
Yeah.
But that's what they are. Cool. You know. Yeah. So unfortunately, Weston's not gonna go to MLS anytime soon.
But to your point on that is like we got Bukari. He's gonna take a DP spot, but I think there's room for us to maybe make some maneuvers to open up a spot for a name like that.
You can buy a ring down. And
that's what everybody expects to happen this summer.
That option is there for Rodo. I mean, I put a lot of weight on Rodo. I back him so much, man. I'm just a big fan of him. I think he's one of the. I guess you could say
he's working his way to be the best sporting director in MLS history.
Yeah, I mean, coming from a
hot take for sure. Hot take for sure.
Wait,
my fault.
Wait, what?
That was out of pocket.
Over Chris Henderson, Miami?
Like, my fault. I actually need to exit the building right now.
Yo, you know Jordi Alba makes damn money as
You're right. You're right.
That is crazy right there.
Thornton is also up there. Thornton is also up there.
as well. Yeah.
But go ahead, B. Sorry.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm interested in your thoughts on him overall, of like how because he's new to the league. He came from City, from the treble-winning City side. He's got an aura to him when his press conferences, bro.
He does, yeah.
He almost speaks like, I know what's up. The signings that has so far came in for Austin have been great. Javier, Biru, Hans Eyck. I mean, essentially, I don't think he's essentially missed yet so far, which is crazy because he's new.
He hasn't missed yet, but people think that Bukari might be the one.
We haven't even played a game.
Exactly. But you know when fans,
$7 million is a lot though. So
it is a lot.
So that's,
for somebody that's not known, really, it is a lot of money.
Right. And you have to also think you got to get a player that's hungry, right? Yeah. This person's, like you told me, all the accolades. You already scored against Man City in Champions League. Does he want to play in MLS? You know, does he want to be a superstar in MLS? So that's something to keep in mind. But I don't know. I think personally, I would have done maybe a $3-4 million type of signing first. Maybe look for a $2 million in GAM, someone around the league first. Kind of seeing where this team gets you this year. And then next year, you're going to have to attack this league a little differently. And I think that's when you need to put the money in, because you're going to be up against Giroud in LAFC, possibly Lewandowski in LA Galaxy, Royce in LA Galaxy. And then who knows? Griezmann's like, oh, y'all having fun in LA? Let me go too. So
Miami too.
Right. So it's, in my opinion, I think he put his chips a little too much for my liking. But maybe if you're an Austin fan, you're excited, and maybe Precourt's like $7 million. I got 15 for you next year.
Yeah, I'm sure he is, bro.
So it's all perspective too.
Yeah. No, I get it. I've gotten a lot of heat for this take. Folks have said that I gotta chill out with this one, but I threw this out there. I said, what if the Bukari signing is a flip? Is Austin FC is gonna try to probably make some money out of this guy, because we're getting a 25-year-old player. That's the age that Drusy was signed. Drusy is now obviously getting older, like 27, 28. But Bukari, you're getting him at 25. By the time that his contract runs out, his guaranteed contract with options and stuff like that, he's going to be 29, essentially at the peak of his career, probably in his prime. It's going to be very interesting to see if Austin FC can somehow manage a flip deal when he's 27, 28, see where his game is at. But you make a great point, Fabian, in the sense, like, what is his mindset going to be when he comes to MLS? Because something Football Critic and I have been going back and forth on recently is, was this a money move for him? Is he taking the money and just chilling in MLS, or is he coming to compete? Because the Champions League is out the window. You were there. Yeah. Now it's gone.
Yeah.
The national team is still there for you, right? You don't even play right now, but hopefully you're going to get a better relationship with the new manager that they have, and you start getting the minutes that you once had upon a time. But the thing with Austin FC, I mean, you're not going to get that Champions League football. You're hoping to play in what, CCC? You're hoping to play in what, Leagues Cup?
Right.
So was this a money move for Bukari, or is Bukari looking to level up his game?
This seems to me more like a MLS move you would do 4 years ago.
Oof.
This is a move where you bring in a guy like Buwanga.
Okay.
That or 2 or 3 years ago. I think MLS is at a different point right now. I think with the Apple deal, with Messi, with Griezmann, I think Austin needs to go for one of those personally, because you bring, I don't know, like what's one of the names that are you bring De Bruyne to a game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's not gonna like it. I think Q2 is a beautiful stadium. You know, 20,000 people screaming. It's gonna turn a lot of players into potential players of Austin FC if you bring them to the game.
Yep.
So I don't know. In my opinion, it seems like a Bouanga signing more than a Griezmann signing, and I don't think Austin's in that category. I think they should be a player. I mean, you guys had Florentino Perez here.
That's what I was gonna say next. Damn it, you got to it.
So it's just like you guys are a player, and Precourt I think knows that. And who knows? Maybe he has that up his sleeve. And in my opinion, I just think if it's a flip, we got to look at flips in the past, right? Like GG is one that is a flip that just happened. He's 29 years old, but we're not talking 15 million. We're talking close to 9.
That's true.
So what? Is it?
You're
a flip?
barely making money off that.
Yeah. So it's not a flip. I don't think anybody's paying more than 10 million for an MLS player that's 29, because we would have saw Bouanga leave for Saudi for 12 or 14.
We would have seen we would have seen Drusi leave for Leeds when there was rumors for what 12, 15 mil when they were looking at him.
So I don't think he's a flipping player.
I see.
I think he's a player, but I just don't like the price tag. If it was $4 million, I was like, oh, go ahead. You know,
$7 million is a lot, man.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, look, we're saying our takes, but we've yet to see the guy. I mean, the guy's not even here. You know.
Well, how many goals does he need to contribute for you to be like $7 million money well spent? This guy needs to be Golden Boot.
He needs to be at least
contender.
Well, we don't even know his salary yet, right?
Yeah, we don't know his salary.
So Busquets makes $8 million. Do you think he's gonna? Let's say Bukari makes $2 million. Would you rather have Busquets or Bukari right now? Because his contract's about 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So if you cut that down, okay, maybe we'll use someone that makes $4 million. So like a Lucho Acosta. Okay.
Great player.
Would you rather have Bukari after 10 games? Let's take a look at it, or Lucho Acosta, where his contract's $4 million a year. Let's say Bukari's contract's $2 million, and then $2 million cut up into 3 years is $4 million, right?
Yeah.
So I think he's still that A tier, not S tier, but A tier kind of category player. But then I think those are the players you have to kind of account him to.
Yeah.
Acosta's, Bouanga's, even Hani Mukhtar's, right? Would you rather have that or him? And that's something we'll find out in those 10 games.
Yeah, honestly, really, really good breakdown there on Maiji Bukari. Now, I know we were supposed to be talking about the Austin FC LAFC game. I know we kind of went on a tangent, but the conversation is just so good, bro. The conversation is just so good. But I mean, we kind of said it was a 1-1 game. Khaled O'Brien got his goal. LAFC scored really late.
History was made, though.
History was made, and we did touch up on Kai and the whole Stuver conversation there. But I mean, just to close on the Q2 topic, I mean, if you could rate it 1 to 10, I mean, what would you give it?
10.
100%.
100%. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
On a
10.
midweek rainy day.
Do you understand why MLS is looking to bring MLS All-Star next year?
100%. Yeah, and Columbus did the same thing for me when I went to go see the Crew, but that was an MLS Cup final. I saw 10,000 people locking shoulders and singing a song at the end of the game. That gives you chills. But Austin's very capable of doing that. But the stadium, the height, the tallness of the stadium, which is something, you know. I hate to say it, the Quakes are the team I grew up with, but you walk into the stadium and there's a missing end, you know.
Yeah.
I'll say this.
Same with Dallas.
I'll say this about LAFC. We went when it was BMO Stadium, and the party outside that stadium is sick. I love the atmosphere outside.
LAFC is another one I give it 10. Because who doesn't like a pregame with all the fans? You know,
dude,
so
honestly.
I was when we played
Great
LAFC
story,
in the
great
conference
story. I love this story.
final. We were in this bubble of Austin, bro. Like we were in this bubble. We saw us. We ranked ourselves highly, which rightfully so. We were making an impact. But when I went to LAFC for that conference final, I was like, oh no, like
because you got to go first by yourself.
I met you there.
You're right. Yeah. Also, shout out to you because you helped us out that game. Because remember Rudy wasn't getting his credentials, and we were like, hey bro, can you help us out? And Rudy got in.
That was great.
Shout out Rudy. But
Rudy.
You had to go by yourself to get credentials first, and I stayed with Austin FC Group, and you got to see the stadium outside at the LAFC, the tents, the tacos, the hot dogs, the music,
and all the supporters groups,
the different cultures.
All of
that's
them
what shook me the most is because here in Austin we have the supporters Los Verdes. They do an incredible job here, but it's Los Verdes.
Yeah.
When I went to LA, it's this, this supporters group. There's a supporters group for Korean fans.
Yeah.
There's a supporters group for
The
skaters.
The Tigers.
Yeah.
The Tigers. Shout out to
I mean,
them.
it was I was like, oh, it's like so many different supporters groups.
The
It's not
supporters
just,
that can partake in green activities.
Yeah,
They're there.
exactly.
Hopefully the other groups aren't too close. You know.
And what I like too is that outside the stadium, everyone had their setup, their tent, their location. I mean, Bad Bunny was playing, Corridos was playing,
but it was also like a marketing for them too.
Yeah.
How are you gonna add people to a supporter section if you don't have anything like that?
Yeah.
And that's something that LAFC does very well, and maybe that's something that I thought Q2 was gonna have too.
Yes.
Because there's space.
Yeah.
Like
You know what they'd rather do with that space? Parking.
Well, media doesn't even park there. Media
Park's way out
that's
there.
what
I
I'm
got a
saying.
shuttle in, bro.
So that's the thing. I'm like, well, what do you need that parking for?
Yes.
Like,
That's exactly what
It
I thought.
pisses us off,
because
bro.
they also have a section where it's like we have that spot area and
That beautiful grass area where all the Teslas park because they charge like $60 just to park there every single
80.
game. It could be used for LAFC game day activities. LA really set the standard, and just like B said, it really marked me that day too.
I was like,
it really marked me.
Yeah, there's okay.
This is
okay.
where the level is at.
But
okay.
When I'm covering an LAFC game, I make sure to make 2 hours for it because I mean there was a tweet that MLS retweeted me when I found someone that was there from Japan. He was there from the game. He was an LAFC fan from Japan, and I met him there at the tailgate. And MLS even thought it was cool that they retweeted it. So it was like. You miss those moments too.
Yeah.
You don't get those interactions with people. You don't get the fans mingling, which is tough. But you guys have the pregame though.
Yeah.
It's just a little different when you have a pregame at a park with everybody.
And there's some fans listening to this that are like, man, it's LA. Like, and good point there is like LA is LA. It's Los Angeles. I mean, the celebrities, the superstars, everything around.
But a lot of people in Austin would say LA is not LA anymore. It's Austin.
Yeah, Austin is very LA. Austin's very LA. They don't California, my Texas. Well, it's too late now.
But I mean, you can't compare.
I'm here.
It's too late.
But you can't really compare yet. I think Austin is not up to.
Entertainment-wise, for sure.
And I mean, just not even just the music and the food and the tents and the people there. They also had games.
Yeah.
They also had like carnival kind of ish games and stuff for the kids.
Also, they had like Toyota out there.
Yeah.
They were giving out little LAFC sunscreens.
That's what
It
I'm
was
saying,
crazy,
bro.
man. It was very eye opening for me because I was in such a Austin bubble. And then I stepped out and I saw the LAFC and I was like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
And then not only that, in the stadium, like, it was a unified. It wasn't just a supporter section that was loud. It was like unified. It was like
El Chicho
that was
I'll
crazy.
Never forget that. Never forget
that was crazy.
Chills.
That
But
gave me
even-
chills, bro.
Rui always tells me that when they started playing the LAFC theme song and it was like dun dun and then
everybody.
that just gave him chills because
And maybe that's one criticism that I have of Q2 Stadium is the sense that sometimes it feels like it's the supporter section and some. It's not the whole stadium, right? But I think that they're doing a really good job at unifying the stadium. And this year, especially, Rodo even released a whole letter where he was congratulating the stadium for coming all together. There was one game where it was a corner kick and everybody got up at the same time and Austin FC scored late. It was against Houston, and Rolo dropped a letter to the fans, and he was like, this is the first time that I ever see the stadium united like that. Everybody knew what was at risk, what the moment was, and they all took part in it. And that's what some of the criticism that I have for Q2 is that it's not always like that. You know, it feels like sometimes it's the supporter section and some.
But also we're growing.
We're getting there. We're getting
I
there.
feel like we are getting there. I feel like we will.
LV does, and La Murga, they do a fantastic job.
Yes, and I feel like we're going forward every season. This is our 4th year ever. I mean, so I feel like we're getting every year it seems to get better, and I think we're getting there.
It also must be so harsh to compare yourself to LAFC.
Yeah.
but you guys get Vega and it's a different story. You get Alexis Vega, it's a different story.
Woo, Nalgon, big booty.
But I'm just saying,
Alexis
you
Vega?
get that type of player, it's a different story.
Yeah, 100%.
So you Henry Martin, different story.
Different story.
Yeah.
So it's really one player away, and that's why the Rodo kind of thing hurts me because it's like y'all need to get a
The
Mexican
7 mil,
superstar.
that's a great
like,
point. That's
like
a
what's
great
going
point.
on here? I mean, Peter Mermis is about to get canned.
I mean,
poach them, you know.
Before Rodo was here, it was Reina, and it was just this like U.S. men's vibe around the club. It was
It's
this
this bubble that
it
we're
was
in.
just like this
definitely.
U.S. men's vibe, and it just the idea of bringing a Mexican superstar.
I mean, of course, it's a vibe. He's DMing one of the guys.
Yeah.
And telling him,
What a whole circus that was, right? What a whole circus
Hey,
that was.
we're a proper football country, all right? We have drama.
What a whole circus that was, man. I can't believe that all actually went down. But Reyda sacked, he got fired, and
I wasn't expecting that though. I was like, I mean, maybe because it's Austin, but if something like that happened with Quakes or with let's say
it was
RSL,
very unprofessional.
Yeah,
it was very unprofessional.
But he's reigning. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess
I see the meme all the time now that says they risk their whole reputation, and Berhalter still got rehired, and it's Reina with his wife. You know what I'm saying? And it's true, bro. They risk their whole reputation.
You think so?
Their legacy is almost trash, bro.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe
Hopefully
because I was
not.
outside of it. How many people like Berhalter? Their legacy is
That's true.
Their legacy is not trash.
Is Reina low-key a cult hero? Reina risked it all. Reina risked it all.
And it didn't work. But he tried, though.
I like that take.
He tried.
I tell
like
you this, man. Now that he's gone.
Not even Reina could stop this man.
Not even Reina. Who can? If Reina couldn't, who can?
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
there was even
That's
rumors about
crazy.
Berhalter coaching America.
America,
Right?
yeah.
So
I remember.
That's your point. That's your point.
But what
That's
I'm
the
saying is
point.
like
Yeah.
he gotta be doing the United States because he
Yeah.
even wanted to coach America, where it's like
Yeah.
it's the same thing, America, United States.
On the U.S. West national team topic, if we could spend just a quick minute on it. There's a lot of conversation around Josh Wolf, the Wolf out.
Yeah.
You know this league very well. You've had to deal with
I'm
a lot
interested.
of managers, right? Between numerous of teams across this league, which is very, very wide and big.
Mm-hmm.
What is your thoughts on the Wolf out situation, man? Because the listeners know what B thinks, and we're going to get his take right now also. But it seems like every time there's a bad loss, it comes up. Every time there's a win, it kind of quiets down a little bit.
So my biggest thing about Austin is when I watch them is this. Is Driussi really playing? Is he wanting to play like Driussi can play?
Damn.
And that's the biggest problem with Austin, where you need a co-captain for this team when Driussi doesn't want to play the way he can play.
Yeah.
He plays well when it's against LA. He plays well when it's a playoff game. But can you get the Wednesday against Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Can you get the game that a guy wakes up in the morning, he's like, I got to go to work, right? So
I got to get in my Ferrari. Fuck.
Right. Yeah, right. They have all the food ready for me.
6.7 million a year. Oh.
Massage again?
But you know what's funny? It's true,
It's
bro.
true, though.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
It's true.
You get used to it.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
my whole thing is Wolf gets the games that need to be getting points, like this LA game. He got a point from
That's
it.
so true, bro.
And the ones he doesn't get is the Colorado, the RSL 5-1. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, maybe Driussi doesn't realize that RSL's leading the league.
Now,
you know, like
I want to add something into the mix. Josh Wolf came out before the LAFC game in the midweek availability, and he was saying, and maybe this was taken out of context, but the video is there. People can see it. But Josh Wolf said he doesn't care where Austin FC ends. He just wants to be above that playoff line. He said he doesn't really care. It could be 8th, 9th. It could be 1st or 2nd, right? He just wants to be above that line. And so,
in my opinion, great thing to say. I mean,
people came after him for that.
Which is weird because Austin, you guys are so spoiled, Like if you're coming at your coach for saying you're going to be in the playoff line, that's what you want. I mean, let's be honest. You're going to compete with Miami? No.
But
Cincinnati, no.
I'm gonna put it as this, like a question. Do you think that's good for us to have that sort of?
They were complaining about the mindset, about the mentality.
But like from the outside looking in, like our the whole Wolf out, like pressure, like just our ambition, or like just like, do you think that's good? It's good to have.
Look, I'm gonna bring this back to what we were just talking about. I think Wolf thinks Driussi's gonna play hard when they're in the playoffs. So if they get Colorado in the first round, they're not scared.
Yeah,
It's true.
And I wouldn't be scared either.
Yeah,
The way Driussi plays. I mean, we saw him literally create a goal with his defensive effort. He wanted to play against LAFC. He knows LAFC's a big team.
Now, the reason why I even brought up the whole Josh Wolf playoff line comment is because some folks think that Josh Wolf knows that if he secures playoffs on his resume, on paper, as an MLS manager, Western Conference Final, playoffs again, it probably looks good, and he will most likely get secured even beyond his contract, which contract ends in end of 2025.
Well, let's be realistic here. I mean, playoffs is a good thing.
Yes.
I mean, I grew up and I covered the Quakes many years where we didn't get a playoff for how long?
Yeah.
And if we just get above the line, we're hysterical. We have 15,000, 18,000 going crazy, right?
So there's an element of spoiledness is what you're saying.
And that's what I'm saying. If your coach is literally saying that, he's saying this in a way too. What I just said, he knows. Yeah. He knows Driussi doesn't want to wake up for the Wednesday games.
Yeah.
He knows that Driussi is the star of this team. And if you can motivate a guy with just getting into the playoffs, anybody can win any given night. You saw it with SKC with St. Louis last year.
True.
It doesn't matter. I mean, the West is so open. Maybe LAFC becomes the powerhouse or LA Galaxy becomes the powerhouse once they get those European guys. But still, you playing Colorado, home and away, Austin has a great chance.
I have a cool question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that the Rigoni departure is in any way, shape, or form affecting Driussi mentally? Because that's the last one of his boys that is gone. Danny Pereira, great friend of his, but he's not from Argentina like Rigoni was, like Maxi was.
Also, he was
the mate con vos.
He was like a main reason why Rigoni came to the club.
Yeah, he was exactly. Driussi was there, and he recruited him.
And he was a massive flop.
This is weird. This is weird because wait, hold up, but he was playing better this year. So he was. Yes, the price tag is bad. Don't get me wrong.
Salary too.
Salaries too.
We can crunch the numbers, and it's bad, bro.
The smile was nice. I think we actually did the math. It was over.
The smile was nice.
The smile was nice.
It was nice.
The veneers, brother.
I think for every goal or goal contribution, it was 600,000. When you're talking about Emmy,
that is kind of wild.
That's tough.
But it's like you couldn't get like. See, you know what? If this wasn't MLS this year. If Messi never happened, if Colorado never came back to life, if RSL is in a powerhouse, maybe you get someone to pay $100K grand to bring him in and give him a chance, like a Cabral.
Because nobody wanted him.
Like a Cabral, right?
Yeah.
So if you're the Quakes, before you brought in Hernan Lopez, why not take a chance? So it's just a weird situation because I don't think if this is a new MLS, they give up on him that fast either. I think they give him till the end of the season and see what they can get.
The thing about it is, once Reina left, some stuff uncovered about certain things in his contract. Like he had a
clauses,
automatic
renewal.
If he hit 12
games, amount of games,
if he hit 12 games, he would automatically be renewed 2025 as a DP.
Yeah, that is kind of
so
crazy.
that if that wasn't there, I think we would have probably
that
kept
was
him,
And also Alex Ring at the beginning of last season. I'm sorry, at the beginning of this season or whenever he was renewed, he was automatically renewed as a DP because of an unknown trigger clause in his contract, and it could have been appearances.
We got to talk about what is a DP too, because a DP like Sergio Busquets making $8 million is a true DP. 1,200 or $1 million, 1.2 million is a DPS, but are they? Because they're a TAM player, right?
Exactly.
So Ring's contract's not a true DP because it's a TAM, and you get more TAM every year.
Yes,
you get more TAM every year, and you get more GAM every year. So that's something to keep in mind too. So a lot of people forget the fact that this league gives you more GAM and TAM every year. So salaries look crazy, yes, at the beginning, but at the end they kind of go down per percentage, but per goal contribution. You're completely right.
Yeah.
But my opinion is like. Yeah, maybe not. I get the 12 games, but man, you couldn't have got one team to take him for an international slot.
Yeah,
or like
not
even like
That's
a draft
crazy.
pick. A draft pick.
Not even.
I'm not surprised.
Not surprised. But
I'm not surprised because of just
bring him into Miami.
I also wanted to say this. I also wanted to say this. A lot of folks also forget that a lot of this wouldn't even be happening if it wasn't for Cecilio Dominguez, termination.
Yeah,
because
that's a name. That's a name.
He was a DP for Austin FC.
Yeah.
Contributing goals. Then the situation with him and his partner happened. They terminated his contract. And then you had to crunch numbers, move guys up and down. You get Alex Ring as a DP now. That all stems from that situation. We're still suffering the consequences.
That's a pull, man. I remember it.
We're still suffering the consequences.
Look, I just want us on the field, man. He was great for us on the pitch. I mean, when that season when we started, we went all the way to the conference finals. We started off. He scored like 2 goals in the first game, a goal in the second game. He had an assist,
and then he got.
Then on top of that, our first season he played number 9 the whole season because we didn't have number 9.
Out of position.
So that season was okay. Finally, he gets to play where he plays, showcase his talent, and he was showing it.
I really thought he was going to be a great player for us, bro.
I did too.
I fucking
that
thought
started
a
domino effect that we're still trying to clean it up.
We're still recovering from the Cecilio Dominguez signing and termination.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
The ring. Well, so we gotta realize too, like TAM, you have to use it.
Yeah.
So the ring kind of contract, it's like, it's bad. It's a lot of money, but he's also kind of like an Austin staple. right? He's someone that you have
Low key.
to. Yeah.
He's a Reina guy. He was brought in. He was a captain of New York City FC.
Right.
Reina came through. You brought him down. There was a bit of a connection there.
You could get a CDM for a lot cheaper. That's for sure.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
100%.
100%. Especially nowadays. And with Rodo at the wheel now, as fans say, let Rodo cook. We're seeing he brings in guys like Rubio, Jader Brion, and Brendan Heinzike.
Shoot.
For the wage of one of the guys that Reina had making 600, 700K.
I mean, bring up the re-entry draft. He could probably find a guy, right?
Yeah.
And if Rodo uses it once, he's probably going to use it again.
Of course, man. Now, of course, we have you today here on the pod for a certain amount of time. And of course, we talked about Austin FC. We talked about some stuff relating to the game. But there's conversation that we want to have further, man. And there's topics that I do want to get into if you don't mind. And it's, of course, kind of like the background that you have kind of, doing what you do, mate. We're talking about Austin FC. We're talking about LAFC. And you have an expertise of the game. And it's not just it landed on your plate. You've been working at it. You've been grinding. You've been studying these players, studying this league and whatnot. So, if you just kind of just walk us through just the journey that you've kind of gone through. I mean, you're wearing footwork.
Yeah.
You're wearing that. Yeah. That's been a journey yourself.
Thank you. Yeah.
And just like I said, I mean, we connected at the Western Conference final where we had to work with each other. You actually helped us out to get one of our guys in and whatnot. But just what do people not see? What do people don't know that goes on behind the scenes for Favian Renkel?
Well, I've said this before in a podcast that I was on, but I'll say it again. When I was 6 or 7, I was first given a GameCube for my Christmas
banger
gift.
game.
Right. So
banger system.
So let me tell you this. I wanted FIFA really bad, like really, really bad.
FIFA Street or FIFA?
Just any FIFA, because I would go over to a buddy's house and play on the PlayStation. My parents, being immigrants, unfortunately, they didn't understand too much.
Get one of the games, mate.
Yeah, didn't understand too much of this kind of ordeal. What is FIFA, right? So
that's my personal collection.
There
right
you
there.
go. You got the bangers.
We got FIFA 05 for
PS2. 06 was fire.
FIFA 06 PS2. This was my introduction to the world of football.
That was the one I wanted, right? So that was the one where I was like, okay, I want this. My parents get me. Listen to this. The MLS game.
Whoa!
Yeah. So that is my introduction.
That's
to
a
MLS.
crazy story.
And it's like, I was pissed.
I would have been mad too. I would have been mad.
I was like, bring it up. Who's even on the cover? I don't know. I can't tell you.
Donovan or something?
No, it was someone else. It was like a Metro Stars player, and it was just like
a random.
Yeah, and it was like, ugh. But I started to play because that's all I had, and I wanted to be grateful and thankful for my parents. But it's something that you're a kid and you never realize it's gonna make a difference in your life. Yeah. But I already knew who the Red Bulls were. I already knew who these teams were, right? The Clash, right? Yeah. So it's just something, the Dallas, Burn, right? So it's just something, Wizards, right? So it's just something to think about where, something might not be your introduction, and it is. That's and then later on, I started growing up, started going to Quakes games, started falling in love. I went to go see Orlando City play at Levi Stadium with the Quakes and Kaká, and I bought a Kaká jersey. I bought something that, when a lot of people don't realize this, is that bringing superstars into this league get casual fans, and who knows where that casual fan becomes into a real fan. Yeah. Or like, not a real fan, excuse me, a very diehard fan.
Dude, I have a similar story.
Yeah.
Same thing. I got a Nintendo 64. Yeah. I wanted FIFA. I wanted any soccer game. And of course, same story. Parents are immigrants, couldn't afford it. At the flea market, guess what game they got me? Mia Hamm Soccer 64.
That's funny.
And I was like,
you told me this story.
I've said it on the pod before. I knew all about Mia Hamm. Like, you know what I mean? So I had some
crazy about me. Hey, shout out to Mia Hamm.
Right.
Legend.
Bro, you remember I think it's still the public library by HEB that's in the hood?
Yes.
Walnut Creek Public Library?
Yeah. So Austin has a hood?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah,
bro,
yeah.
Okay, so
like, what?
That's where I came up, brother.
B had a rougher upbringing than I did, but we went to the same schools. There's a whole part of Austin that people don't know is there, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's where we come from. You know,
there's hoods, bro. There's hoods everywhere.
Yeah.
That's true. That's me. That's
my introduction to this crazy world that we're in is this game, actually. FIFA 2004. My mom and dad had a fight. My dad came home late one day, and my dad was trying to get me on his side type shit. And and so my dad knew that I wanted a game. Yeah. And I didn't have like a PS2, but my cousins had it, so I would play with them, and he knew that I wanted one. So he was like, hey, put your shoes on. We're gonna go to the mall. What do you know? We're gonna get you that game." And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
We go to the mall. My dad doesn't want to buy me the new one, so he gets me the used fat PS2.
Yeah.
I'm like, bet, whatever.
Right.
He says, pick a game. I'm like, okay, cool. There's a used FIFA 2004
That's
on
awesome.
the shelf. I tell him, like, hey, I want this one. Bet. Okay, cool. I take it home. My cousin beats my ass with Barcelona day in and day out. One day I get fed up. I follow him to La Liga.
Yeah.
I choose the other 5-star team. It's Real Madrid.
Oh.
Ever since then, Real Madrid.
Damn.
Yeah.
Ever since then. But real quick, my introduction to MLS,
Yeah.
in this game, you have the New England Revolution, the Columbus Crew,
Yeah.
the Chicago Fire, and DC United.
Mhm.
And I was like, who is that? You know what I'm saying? But since then on, I knew that there was a league in the United States.
Right. No, I mean, that's why I always think like video games are stupid underrated when you're getting a new fan. I mean, so all the FIFA stuff I always see out, that's always so cool. But yeah, that's a little story I always like to share because I never would think.
That's a great story.
I never would think I'd be writing about MLS 20 years later, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Story.
yeah, I mean, tell me about it. I mean, when I told my parents, you know, I'm gonna write for Forbes, you know, like, and they just start bawling, you know, they're just so happy because, you know, su hijo, you know, mi hijo, you know, like you're doing it, you know. So
if you don't
cool.
mind me asking, if we can get into that just a little bit, because we all deal with that. How do your parents see what you do?
They didn't believe me for a long time. They didn't believe in it for a long time, and it's almost like I have to show them every single thing. And now, the funniest thing is my dad tries now because I told him I got up. I've had multiple dinners where I said, no, I'm gonna be that guy. Like I'm gonna be that guy. Unfortunately, fortunately, I have a very strong father figure in my life, and I even screamed at him like, no, I'm gonna be that guy. You know, we've gotten to altercations where he didn't believe in me, and I was like, if you're not gonna believe in me, I'm gonna prove you wrong, and I'm gonna prove everybody wrong. And that's something about me that my dad started to be on my side, and it's something that my dad even tells me news that is 3 or 4 days old now, but he's trying.
Yeah, he's
and
trying.
I
You
appreciate it.
You could tell.
But like some things about Uruguay, like he's on it first. So if I know if the Uruguayan Federation is mad because Kike Oliveira, the LAFC player, is going to not go play in the Olympic Games that they have, like a preseason tournament, Uruguay's talking about it. He told me first, and I was the first one to kind of say it here. So, you know, it's nice to have people in your camp, but you gotta have to win them over.
Facts.
And a lot of things that helped was, you know, I had an issue where people were writing stuff in my name, so I ended up Googling.
Weird.
Yeah, I ended up Googling myself a couple of times, and then I would see my name kind of show up in articles all over Asia, and being me, you know, trying to prove my dad, you know, like a little thing. I would always send it to him, like, hey man, like, there's this Indonesian newscast just saying just name dropping me on their news. And
Slight flex, but all right.
Yeah, but I was just like,
Yeah.
let me send this to my dad, you know, like, because then I think after that and then seeing that, like, how many hours I put in and seeing it firsthand, I think that's when they finally made the flip. My mom's always been on my team, but I'm like, you know, mama's boy, you know, like,
I feel
but
you.
the dad was one where I had to prove it to him.
Oh yeah, you know what comes to mind? I don't know if you've seen the movie Goal. Whenever there's like,
That's my son.
No, but he has a moment with his dad where he's like, that is a fool's dream, son.
Yeah.
You know, and then he's like,
Well,
what do you do, Dad? He's like, I take care of my family. Yeah, that's low key what we go through. Bro.
Yeah, well, like I got it last week. My dad's like, well, you should have worked in the water department with me. You should have worked for the city. And I'm like, oh yeah, man. You know, like, I still get it, but he also knows that, like, if you wanted it, you would get it this way, and you got to do it this way because, I mean, I know a lot of us here. I mean, we're all Latin American.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not easy. You know, the system's maybe not set out for us, and we, like you were saying earlier, we got to build it. You know,
the thing is like, this. I hear you.
Yeah.
To me, on mine, I went the other way. I like.
Yeah.
I got into the trade early.
Yeah.
Because my mindset was like, I gotta get to work.
Right.
Help my family.
Right.
Do that. I don't have to. The idea of like starting anything creative or chasing something to me was like, nah, man, you gotta chase the money.
Non-existent.
You gotta work 50 hours a week.
Totally.
And then when Austin came around, and then after doing it, I was like, oh no, man, I want to do some creative. I want to do a podcast. I want to do all this stuff. So it's really interesting to hear that.
No, but that is true. I was very grateful where I had the situation where I was able to fall. But a part of me too, when I had my son, I didn't have that anymore. I couldn't fail. So like a dog was born in me where it was like, I'm gonna be the best, because I don't have an opportunity to fail.
Yeah.
So that's why my mom always says, and I've said this before too, el bebé siempre viene con un pan. Like the baby always comes with some bread, because you're always gonna be there to do your best, because you don't want to make someone not proud of you.
No, dude, and that's something that I'm dealing with right now. I mean, my baby girl, she's 4 months old. And one thing that
congratulations, bro.
Appreciate it, bro.
I didn't say that.
I appreciate it. Yeah. But, one things that we deal with here, the stress with, covering the team and doing the pod, and of course having children now, is like, I told the boys, I was like, if I have to recreate myself, I'm gonna have to recreate myself, and I'll be me from home. Right. Luckily my support system is outrageously great, and I'm able to do what I do, and everybody's good. Of course, I still put in the work, and we still cover this team. We do what we do in our regular lives, right? And it's just a bit of a grind, bro, because you have people that you want to make proud. You have people that you want to also prove wrong because they probably put your name down, right? And now whenever you have children, you can't fail. Right. You can't fail, because the way at least the way that I think about it is how I used to think about my parents. That little girl is going to be thinking about me. Right. So I have to be her Superman, even though nobody in this world is perfect. Right. For her, until she's fully conscious of how the world is, she's going to think that I'm awesome, that I'm her number one. And that's what children think of their parents, at least. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Like, exactly. Like, you want to be the
B's over there like, yeah.
I can't relate, brother. But I do hear a lot about, like, how it almost unlocks an extra thing.
Gear.
There's a change.
It's weird.
There's a change, right? There's a change. At first, I was like, where's the gear? Where's the change at? And it happened without me knowing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I think about the baby smell, the baby.
I can sleep in. I'll stay up late.
My whole thing was like, if it's not now, when is it?
Yeah.
I gotta do it.
I was on the same boat. Yeah. I wanted to do it before 30.
Yeah.
I want to do it before 30 because I don't want to be too old with a 10-year-old.
Well, see, my whole thing. Oh no, I'm saying, like, if I'm not gonna be an MLS.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay. That's what
that was my train of thought.
Hey, what am I doing?
Hey, what time is it? We getting close to those hours.
that was my train of thought. I was like, I gotta get one out before I'm 30.
But to that point, that's exactly like. Like, to me, because to me is because I joined the trades, and my mentality was like, I'm gonna work, and then I realized, like, dude, I have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to follow a dream. We gotta take it, bro.
Okay, why not?
Because I don't want to be 40 years old. I'm a veteran in the trade. But maybe I'm thinking about, like, man, what if we did start that podcast? What if we did write those articles? What if we made those videos? And since we're blessed to have the opportunity to do that. Right. Let's do it. You know what I mean? And
well, my whole thing is, whenever I have people around me or whenever I meet someone new, I kind of always ask, "What's your dream?" Because that's to me. I know this is gonna get really cheesy, really, really soft, but I worked in Japan as a teacher, and I saw a lot of kids not have dreams. And that was something that really broke my heart. And I was like, you really don't have a dream? No, I just want to work a normal job. Yeah. And it was just like, man, these kids have their whole life ahead of them, and they don't have a dream, which is the weirdest thing. So I always said, a part of me is always like, being American is all about having a dream and going for it, because you can fail and you can just try again. And that's kind of the American dream. That's the same with our parents. I mean, they all came here for something better. They went for a dream, and they went for it. So it's like, if we don't do it, and we didn't do them justice.
I also feel guilt for that risk that they took,
right?
Because they took a risk, and if I don't level up the family or the bloodline, now I'm getting like Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
But if I don't, I mean, I had this conversation.
It's true, yeah.
I had this conversation with my little brother just the past couple of years. He had orientation for college yesterday. He's going to Texas State. It's not the most prestigious university,
awesome,
but he got a scholarship to go there.
Awesome,
I told him, I was like, dude, the fact that somebody is paying you to go to their school, that's
insane.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I told him, I was like, look, dude, like when I was little, I wanted an older brother to put me on game. Right. I didn't have an older brother. I had an older sister, and she put me on game, but as much as a female could, right? I needed to have like an older brother to tell me what's what.
Older brother figure. Yeah.
And so I tried to be that for my little brother. I made him a little project. I told him, I was like, he's not a soccer player, but he's a smart kid. So I told him, I was like, you got to be the Ronaldo of your trade, of whatever you get into.
Whatever you do, yeah.
He likes tech, so he's really trying to be the Ronaldo of that era, which go for it, right? But like I almost feel guilt sometimes if we don't level up the family last name, if we don't level up our like bloodline, you know, because I tell them, I was like, there's Italian families, there's Jewish families, there's English families, there's Irish families that have been in this country for years since the boom in like the 1920s, and they've been here developing generational wealth. We just got here in the 90s when our parents crossed the border, so we just got into the game that's known as the United States. Right. So I just tell them, I was like, we just got to keep leveling up. And I told him, I was like, I put you on game. Now you got to go out there and you got to bring us up with you whenever you come back from your journey in college. But
don't get me wrong. The hunger, that's what hunger is, right? Like you either have it or you don't. And my whole thing is like I really, really like where I'm at today. Like I'm very grateful for every single step. I'm grateful for being here talking to y'all. I mean, I was a fan of y'all for a while, right? So I'm very grateful for being here. But man, if I can go back to waking up at 4 a.m. to talk to Matias Almeida in Japan, you mentioned
that on the Verdependent.
I would do it again because I remember how fun it was at that moment, how mind blowing it was. Shoot, going to the White House with MLS was something that, you know, like it's a first generation immigrant, you know, it's like mind blowing. I go to my dad. I told him, hey, I just saw Joe Biden, you know, like I was invited formally by the Biden administration to go cover the MLS event that's at the White House. You know how crazy that is sounding to parents that came here. Maybe not the best way, you know, y'all, you know, maybe not the most legal way, but their kids in the White House, you know, it's like there's something different, you know, it hits different.
It's like we all have this moment of like when we do something that isn't necessarily going to be financially better for you, but you're doing something you enjoy, and then that you realize like, oh, there's something here.
Right.
If I put in the work and time, there's something, and that feeling of like, oh, hell, all I gotta do is work at it.
Right.
Like I was never. The one thing I learned quickly as a young is like, put your like gloves on, put your boots on, and work. Like, to me that was easy. So if I could put that mentality into stuff that not 100%. just
it's like a system.
It's not just digging a ditch. I'll dig a ditch. I'll in the sun, boom, work. I'll do that easy. It doesn't scare me. But if I put that sort of mentality, that sort of work ambition into something that like I enjoy, like this, it's like it's crazy, man. And to be involved to have people like you come over, friends with Ace, it's crazy. And we're blessed, man. We're blessed, and I'm happy to be here.
For me, mate, I mean, I always, of course, every kid's dream is to play soccer, to be a soccer player. But I never saw the growth coming to Austin. Like I never saw Q2 Stadium coming. So I was like disillusioned with the dream of being a soccer player. Right. I gave it up. Started to work. I had to support the house. Right. Yeah. You know, and I never was like the best player on a team by far. I played defense, center back, or left back, but. I mean, I was a hell of a fucking teammate. And, you know, we made it pretty far in the teams that I was in. You know, one of the guys that I played with got a full ride to Michigan State. We went to regionals in Raleigh, North Carolina, whatnot. So there was potential there. At least I saw it.
We went to district finals together in middle school.
Yeah, look at that.
Middle school, we went. He was a starting left back or right back. I was on the bench, backup keeper. Yeah. Had to switch fucking spots or whatever. But anyways. You know, and now the fact that we get to do what we do with soccer, you know, of course it triggers that kid in me still that wanted to be that pro soccer player. But the next best thing is working in the field of like talking about soccer.
Right.
You know, either you get paid to play it or you get paid to talk about it.
It's funny. Everybody has a story of how they didn't make it when they're in this side.
Yeah.
My story, I'm gonna say this. I scored an own goal when I was 6. I passed it to the keeper. He was talking to his dad. That was
parent coaching has to stop.
Right. Basically, Bob Bradley. Right there. And cried my eyes out and said, "You know, this is not for me." So I was like, talking about soccer is the best thing.
I had the most stereotypical like, if I didn't hurt my knee,
you really got hurt.
I tore my ACL, and that pretty much ended it for me.
Yeah, especially
I was there when it happened too.
Your first generation, right?
Yes.
Explaining a torn ACL to your parents.
Playing soccer.
Yeah. Why are you wasting your time? Like, now how are you gonna go to work?
Now B doesn't play anymore.
But he knows what ACL is.
But he has
La rodilla. I just put some ice on it. It's all good. Like, no, I need surgery.
B doesn't have to play, but he has a great reason.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to risk it.
But you know, everybody's like, oh man, if I hurt my knee.
Honestly. honestly, too, bro. Me too. One day in pickup, I hurt my MCL. I never got it fixed.
Yeah.
I never got it fixed, and like sometimes I feel it pop out.
Right. That's
Plus,
wild.
we're getting there in age, brother. I think it's.
Yeah, I'm almost 30.
Me too.
Me three.
That's all that.
But dude, man, what a conversation.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. Thank
This
you
is
for having
awesome,
me.
man.
Yeah.
This
What
is
a
awesome,
conversation.
man.
I mean, we could go on honestly for another 2 hours, but
Yeah.
we can't do it.
Yeah. You can't go to your baby girl.
I gotta
edit, right?
Yeah, I gotta edit. I gotta drop the pod,
you know what I'm gonna do tonight? Actually, I'm fucking playing FIFA
Yeah,
all
all right.
night.
Oh, yeah.
Personally,
Oh, yeah.
personally.
Well, I'm editing,
What's your
brother.
favorite ones, real quick?
Okay, so personally, I have FIFA 2011 at the
Okay.
house on deck that I
Okay.
play all the time. I'm 4 seasons into a manager mode with
Okay.
Man City.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when they got all the oil money.
My first legit FIFA game was FIFA 06, the World Cup version.
Oh.
That was my first real
Yeah.
legit game. Yeah, but it was like the World Cup.
The World
version.
Cup.
World
Yeah,
Cup.
yeah, yeah,
Reina,
yeah, yeah,
Reina's
yeah.
on the cover of that one.
Yeah,
Reina's on
that
the
one was
cover.
my first okay.
Yeah.
But I guess my prime was 17, bro.
Okay.
No, bro, no.
as far as
I'm not gonna let you talk
no,
about
no.
that because I did not recognize you in that era, bro. I'm telling you, this guy would spend hundreds
Listen,
of
hold
dollars,
on,
bro.
hold on. I wouldn't say that that's the best FIFA, but that was my
Ballers.
prime as far as I would slap everybody, brother.
Bro, he would spend his probably 30% of his check.
I would
on
not only
coins.
that, I'd call into work to play, brother.
Yes, bro. Didn't
So
you,
17 sticks with me, bro.
bro, didn't you even come up with like a whole scheme on how to get
system,
coins?
yeah. So I was early on Ultimate Team. I was like when 09 came out, I was in it. Ultimate Team is awesome.
Yeah.
It didn't get popped until like
17, right?
17
Around there,
That's when it started
yeah,
popping.
yeah.
And back then to get a car, people I don't play FIFA maybe are like, what are they talking about? But you would buy packs.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But you would buy packs and then you would get a random. It's like you're buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You open the pack, you don't know what you get.
Booster packs.
Sell them all.
But there was a way to get past that where you could target certain players that you wanted.
Yep.
You would buy online coins.
Auction, yeah.
And guess what, bro? There was
a dark era.
There was
bro.
3 teenagers that started this business where they would bring their own money, spend crazy amounts of money on coins and packs, hoard coins, and then sell coins directly with actual money.
Yeah.
There's you can look this up. They actually got caught up in 2019. They ended up making like $8 million. They got caught up by the FBI. It was a big ordeal.
Wow.
They're doing some crazy time. They were like 17-year-olds. But I was in that era, brother.
Dang.
I was in that era.
That's
I was like sneaking coins. To
I got it
certain
here.
players.
It says FBI says alleged hackers use FIFA to steal millions from EA.
Yeah. Because
Wow.
EA was ranking the cash, and they were bypassing EA.
Right.
Why would you pay EA this is a crazy amount of money for packs when you can
For
just
randoms.
buy random players when you can just buy my coins and buy the player you want?
This is just a quick paragraph. It says this morning in Texas. Wow. Anthony Clark will go on trial. This is 8 years ago. Anthony Clark will go on trial for conspiracy to commit wire fraud after allegedly working with 3 other hackers to mine FIFA coins from EA servers.
Yep.
Then sell those coins to black market
me.
dealers in Europe and China. The FBI alleges that Clark and his co-defendants made between 15 and
Oh my
18
God.
million
Jeez.
dollars.
I
off
probably
this
gave
scheme.
him a good 100,000.
Oh, you're right, bro.
but
You're right.
So
yeah.
are we are Austin TV booster packs? Are we doing that?
That's what we're gonna do.
We might have
Bro,
to.
I just saw a Julio Cascante inform pack. He's rated 93.
I don't believe
I
it,
think
bro.
somebody is behind that.
That's
that
a
has to be
Photoshop.
some
That's
some
a
scat. It has to be
Photoshop.
kind of hack. But my favorite FIFA,
Yeah.
2014.
Okay.
2014.
That's a good one. That's a good one because you got the free World Cup with it, right?
I think. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And
Yeah.
also there was some FIFAs. I think FIFA 06. If you go to the certain settings, they have like FIFA 96 on it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
They
cool.
have like little like what are those called? Easter eggs.
Yeah, Easter eggs.
Kinda
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Easter
yeah.
eggs. Yeah.
For me, it's got to be the World Cup game for 2010.
That's a
2010.
banger. That's a
and,
banger.
and that one's good because they
South
had
Africa.
teams. No, they had teams that weren't even in regular FIFAs. They had national
classics
teams.
where they like
No,
2K used to do.
No.
National team,
It was
national
like, it was like
teams.
you would have like
Zimbabwe,
Tunisia.
Tunisia,
Just
yeah,
like
yeah.
weird
Okay,
teams
okay.
that you wouldn't have on like a regular FIFA game. So it was. I like it. Soundtrack bangs. Even Waka Waka comes out.
Yeah.
You got it. It's a good game.
To be real, FIFA has turned me off in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the manager mode. I just said earlier,
Yeah.
I'm 4 seasons deep
I had-
into a 2011 game in 2024.
Well, the problem with the new ones in that mode is that the cutscenes take forever.
It's true.
So you're taking forever to play a game.
The gameplay though on the manager mode in those old FIFAs, you get to pick everything, the sponsors, everything,
cool.
bro. It's so many details that you actually get to be as a manager, but you don't do that anymore. But I think 2K is gonna put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah, that's gonna be
They're
crazy.
gonna pick up the license, and I'm gonna buy it. I'm actually
why not? Yeah, why not? Yeah.
I haven't bought a new game system in years. I'm gonna buy the PS5.
I haven't gamed in years. I had to sell my system and get it because if I were to buy one right now, I would quit the pod.
This time, honestly, bro. Honestly,
you see, we are on the TV. Pack opening, baby. Let's go,
bro. This hobby took. I mean, it's more of a job now too. Where I see it used to be a hobby, but this took my time. It took all my free time.
No, I agree. I mean, we all play less games now. We can all admit that.
I can't play, brother.
I'm craving going home right now and just playing FIFA until midnight.
So what I do is when I have to cover a new game or when I have to cover a team, I'll actually play a game with both teams in exhibition and play with all the players and kind of learn all the players that way. And that's kind of how I cheat my way of playing a little bit.
That's so cheeky.
You know what my little brother does? He'll
So like for the MLS final, I was learning about Columbus. I had to like play with all their players, and then I also like brought up all the small
That's
guys.
actually a great idea. That's great.
Nationalities,
Yeah,
and ages.
that's the thing. Being a FIFA soccer fan, countries, flags, we got it on lock. You know? But
what does your brother do?
So my little brother, he's like 17, but he's like, I forgot what my point was. I forgot the point.
The FIFA gaming get to know teams.
Yeah, get to know.
What your little brother does?
Favian plays team on team to get to know them when he gets to study them.
Yeah.
I forgot my point.
Damn it!
I forgot my point. I'm having a blank.
Bro. But your little brother, he's 17.
He's locked in the FIFA.
He's locked in the FIFA. Get to know.
Oh, okay. Here we go. It comes back. So for young from his friends, his takes on like. Because they see us talk about soccer and they're like, oh man, they see like I want to talk about it. So what they always reference is the ratings on FIFA. It's like
skill moves.
Like their pace is 98. So now they're like, oh, this guy's faster. I'm like you haven't seen him play. Like but his pace is 96. Right. His dribbling's 88.
Well, it kind of helps though.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit.
To your point where you were saying. So
I've actually met the FIFA guy at a Quakes game, looking at ratings and stuff. Yeah. So there are guys around doing that.
Yeah.
And since EA Sports is actually in my hometown, Redwood City. You see those guys all the time, and you get to talk to them, and you get to see like the new guys. Sometimes the players even reach out like, bro, I deserve more pace on this.
I've seen that.
So to the younger generation, I think they lean in towards that a little bit. That's my point.
100%. They are also transfer market values. I've met Manuel Veth. He does transfer market.
Yeah, Manuel's cool. Yeah, I met him too.
He's a great guy.
Shout out.
Super tall.
Yeah, he is.
Super tall.
He is.
Germans are just tall, dude. They're really tall, but great guy. Transfer market. It's cool to meet the people that work for these pages.
Yeah, especially that one. I wasn't, to be honest, I wasn't expecting a face to transfer market, right? Like that's such a widely used page. Kind of wild.
Yeah. But my G, an hour 15, bro. We're gonna cut it here, bro. What a great conversation. I knew it was gonna be like this. B and I've been looking forward to this for weeks,
me too,
months,
man.
bro.
Me too.
Like I said at the beginning of it, it's an honor to have you here, mate.
Thank you.
Such a great conversation.
And you're always welcome back, brother. Anytime you come to Austin, man,
I appreciate
reach out to us. You're always welcome.
I'll be back.
If one day you lose everything and you're down to your last,
we got a spot for you, brother.
We got a spot for you. We'll find somewhere where you can take a nap here in the city. YG Favian, bro. Appreciate you
I gotta find Austin jersey first, right? Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming out, brother. Thanks for coming out.
Top Flight Pod. Shout out to my G Favian Renkel. You already know. Let's get it.